Hey everyone, in this video I want to show you the absolute worst couple of trades that I've taken in my trading career. They're also the biggest monetary losses I've ever had. Technically, I haven't still sold out of them, so there's some chance that they will recover, but I personally don't rely on this. The goal of this video is to show you my entire process, everything that went wrong in each of the trades, and also what was my learning experience and how I'm trying not to do the same mistakes again. Looking back at them now, a year and a half later, I'm really cringing on some of the things that I did and I was thinking at the time of these trades. But I think no trader is insured against such kind of mistakes, no matter how much experience you have. And that's why I want to show you these examples and try to protect you from such kind of mistakes in your trading career, or at least limit their effect on your overall portfolio performance. So I'm gonna start with actually the good thing that I did on both trades. One of them is band, so this is the first token that we're gonna look at, and the second one is 1 inch. The good thing that I did in both cases is that I positioned them properly. Each one of the positions was no more than percent and a half of my portfolio. So although I'm about 80-90% down from where I bought, my overall loss is no more than 2.5% from my portfolio at the time. So this was the only good thing about these trades. And now let's start with band and let me show you why I made so many bad choices and some really bad choices. And let's use the replay tool here because it's gonna make perfect sense when we're looking at this live, I would say. So band was somewhere around here, and let me just remove also the drawings. As you can see, it had a massive run up. So before I decided to enter a trade here, we were already up like 2,500% from the lows. However, at this time frame here, I was really excited. I've made a lot of money in the cycle already, and I was just looking for new and fresh setups to invest and recycle my profits, to compound them and make more profits. And you know, the greedy part of me was really strong at that time, and I was feeling invincible just because I made a lot of money, which of course made me make a lot of mistakes. And one of the reasons that this happened and I got to this condition was also that in previous cycles we had parabolic runs, and until that moment, although we had 2,400% gains on some tokens, we still didn't have the blow off top on the parabola. And that was my thesis, that I can take all-time high breakouts like this one because there's still a lot more to go in the cycle. So the setup looked something like this on band. We had an all-time high breakout around this level right here. However, because of the wicks and because of the price action, I decided to be a little bit early and enter somewhere around here where we had a little bit more reactions. And as you can see, let me just play it here. The price action actually played out pretty nicely. We retraced several times. We confirmed this as resistance area, and we were having higher lows all the way here. So I was expecting for price to break out above this and for me to take this trade. And this is exactly what happened. We had a massive day, very good volume, 18% on the day. At some point it was like 30% on the day. So I was feeling very good right here, you know. I was like, yes, this is yet another one in the making. However, pretty much the next day the price reversed and we had a capitulation candle here on the day. This was like big red candle. We were down like 45% and we were back at this support level right here. Almost perfectly we touched it. So I was watching this live, and to be honest, I was a little bit confused on the market because I was like, why is this happening? You know, why we are having such a massive capitulation just when we were about to break out? And I think this coincided with the fake out breakout of Bitcoin on the all-time high, like the second time we reached the all-time high in this cycle. And it was a massive candle. And because I was so focused that this is a breakout trade, that I missed the other setup. And the other setup was actually a capitulation buy. And I was supposed to be buying band here because it was just a perfect setup. Couple of days of selling with a massive 45% candle and retest of this confirmed support level right here around $11. So if I was having this in mind, and if I was a little bit open-minded, I could have made a lot of money here on the bounce. But I wasn't, I waited for price to reverse back, and on the next day when I had another red candle, I was like, oh wait, I should start buying and decrease my average entry price. And what better place to buy from here? Here we also have some support. Seems like this candle is reversing here, so let me start buying a little bit more here and increase my position size, because I didn't go all in on this position on the top, which was maybe another thing that I did well in this situation. And if you play it a little bit further, you see that price action started chopping around here. Actually, we had lower highs. We got rejected from this all-time high breakout, another fake out. And somewhere around here, I was like, okay, I'm not feeling that confident with this position anymore, just because we're having this kind of lower high here. And also Bitcoin wasn't showing a lot of strength. So let me just sell, I don't remember the exact number, but it was something like 40 or 50% of my position. We are at slight profit or break even. If we take the both entries, I will decrease my size and I will still have some in place if price decides to reverse here and go for another leg up. So, so far so good. I was managing this trade on the go. However, I left some size in it. And this is where it really gets, I think, quite bad. So we broke down this level right here, which I was looking around $15. And I didn't sell out of this position, although we were seeing overall weakness on the market at this point of time. And I also decided to add a little bit more here on this retest of the support level. However, you can see that the price action was quite different. So we had a massive capitulation candle here, we retested and we bounced back up. And here I was looking again to decrease my average purchase price, and I bought at this support level. However, we broke down massively after my buys. I remember this. At the time of buying, we were down around 16% on the day, and then we broke down and we were like 60% down on the day. And guess what? I didn't buy again this capitulation. These are usually really hard times to buy when you see price down 60%, but as you can see, it's probably the best time to buy also. And if I have done this, if I was more open-minded like back here, I could have bought some in the capitulation, and let's say I bought somewhere around here, I wouldn't have had perfect entries. I could have been 50% up on the buys right here, and again I could have regained the lost money until here and just exited the position at a break even or something like this. So another mistake on my side. And if we continue, you'll see that we were stuck below this level of $11 and price continued to chop around here. And let me just speed this up a little bit so we can see it. I didn't have more buys for quite a long time here, and we were kind of forming maybe a little bit of a bottoming pattern here with double bottom here, and there was some support through this area right here. So I was watching this already for, what is this, like more than 3 months. So I was like, okay, maybe this is the bottom. Maybe price got recharged and now we're gonna have another leg up. So what I decided to buy here, a breakout pattern on this mid-range breakout here. We had the 100-day below us. We also had breakout, confirmed breakout. This turned into support, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy some here, and the next level up is somewhere around here. However, I got spooked on this little ad here, and I was like, okay, I'm in the green. We're about what was that on the day? I'm about 20%, so I'm gonna sell this position that I bought here, recoup some of my losses, and then see what will happen. Because as you can see here, we had some big red days, and I was like spooked quite easily. So another mistake, we were mid-range and I was selling. I was supposed to sell at least at this resistance level right here. So once I sold this position, I was like, hey, market is showing nice higher lows here. So maybe if I take this next level breakout, I already have one ad here, so I will even further decrease my average buy cost, and potentially we might go for another leg up and I'll be break even, and all those beautiful stories that we tell ourselves. So right at this breakout, it was actually a fake out breakout. The right levels I'm looking was around here, around $10, because we also had the 200-day moving average acting as support once we broke out. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this breakout, but it started the season of fake out breakouts. So you can see what happened exactly the same day. And again, I didn't sell out of this position and I didn't buy this capitulation candle. So I was just stuck with increased size on the position, with actually holding the back, and I was down already around 50%. So I was like, I'm not gonna sell at 50% loss. I'm a trader, I'm not taking these kind of losses. So I was stubborn here, although I was seeing that there was no potential for this to recover anytime soon. So I just let it chop around here, and actually I didn't have any other buys, but as you can see, price just kept falling and falling and falling. And I think currently, let me just exit this. On average, I'm around 90% down on the position. And as you can see, band is forming yet another potential breakdown pattern here. So I don't think there's any hope for this to recover. Also, the projects fundamentally, I don't think it's doing great. And overall, probably we're gonna have a bear market for the foreseeable future. So I'm not seeing this to recover at all. What I'm planning to do with this, I will tell you after I also walk you through my 1-inch buy. This was a little bit of a different situation. It happened pretty much the same time, so this was around April, May 2021. And my first massive mistake that I made here was that somebody told me about this trade and I followed the person on this trade. I didn't do any research. I was just looking at the chart, and since someone was buying and giving me this hint, I was like a complete rookie, okay, I'm gonna jump in this and see what's gonna happen. Because again, I still had this super bullish mindset that, we have a lot of profits, I can risk a little bit more here, and that's fine. So let's use again the replay tool, and let me click somewhere around here where I decided to enter. It was very similar setup like band. It was an all-time high breakout. And as you can see here, we actually had a fake out breakout. And after that, I decided to enter on the secondary attempt right here. Price was showing some kind of strength. If we look at this here, before the breakdown here, the fake out breakout, you see that we had higher lows here and it was secondary breakout. So there were technical reasons for me to take this trade, but again, it wasn't the perfect setup. And usually when it comes to breakout setups, I really don't like anymore things that have a lot of wicks, like 1-inch, and also band pretty much looks exactly the same, because these wicks kind of mix up my technical analysis. It's like, do you use the wicks for the all-time high breakout? Do you use the closes? For me personally, it's tricky, and also means that the coin is trading kind of scared. People, when they see bigger candles, they tend to sell, and that's what causes those big wicks. So it's overall a riskier setup when we have such kind of wicks. But anyway, since somebody told me, I started buying 1-inch here. Again, it wasn't a full size position for me, which was great. And once we had the capitulation, I was like, great, that's another opportunity for me to start adding more at a lower cost level. So that's what I did. And as you can see, even though I bought here, I never sold to lock in some gains on this capitulation. So I just lowered my entry price. However, price kept going down, and at this level here, I don't even know why. Probably it was because this support held for several days. I'm like, okay, I want to add a little bit more, I want to increase my size here. And then once we had another all-time high breakout right here, which was around 650, I was like, yes, this is the moment. We were confirming that we have another leg. We survived this drawdown, and now price is showing some strength. So let me add a little bit more fuel to the fire. But again, this coincided with the fake out breakout season start. And the one thing that I actually did well for this was that I sold some of the positions similar to Band. I de-risked because with all of these buys here, this added up to more than 2.5-3% position of my portfolio. And usually on such kind of small altcoins, I tend to avoid to have such big size. So at this moment and seeing this price action, I didn't feel very comfortable. And as you can see, I was in profit. So I sold some here on this retest of this level and the confirmed lower high here. But then I was like, man, I'm not sure if I didn't sell too early and I didn't sell too much. So I decreased my position size, but then I felt like it was a little bit less than I wanted it to be. So I bought another random piece of this coin, somewhere around here, around $5. This is like, when I'm watching this now, I'm like, what the hell I was thinking here? Seriously, like there was no reasons for me to buy here. But anyway, let's just continue and let me show you some more. So again, we had a capitulation here, another one, and I decided on this support level retest to add a little bit more. Similar situation like Band. But again, when we had a bounce, I didn't sell out of it. And if we speed this up a little bit more, 1 inch was very, very interesting because for a long time, as you can see, we were having this kind of accumulation forming, but lower highs and so on. So very, very boring chart here. I added a little bit more here, but then something happened that I didn't take advantage of this. And I still, when I look at it, I was like, man, this was very, very stupid. So imagine this, I bought initially here, I took some profit, then I decreased, then I decided to buy a little bit more back. I averaged down somewhere around this level. I held this for quite a long time. So this was from these entries right here to here, it was around 100 days, so 3 months, and until here it was like 6 months almost. So I was holding this and I was watching this price action live. I saw this massive candle. It closed on 44%, but on the day was up 95% and just perfectly retested the all-time high. And one of the first rules that I have, especially after this trade setup, whenever you see 100% candle and you're in this trade, take some profit. This is not sustainable price action. We had massive volume. Honestly, I didn't even do the work to see why we had such a candle. But even when I didn't do it, I was supposed to just sell at least some, if not the entire position. And I didn't. And this was something that is, to be honest, I'm still having regrets about this because it was a very, very stupid move for me. If I have sold, my average cost was somewhere around here. So I would have locked around 50% gains on the entire position. Although it was a terrible position, this was kind of a gift from the markets that I didn't take. And of course, after that, I paid the market tuition and I learned the hard way. And if we continue, I didn't have any more adds to this position. You can see that price action, just fizzled down, and as every single altcoin on the market, it just continued trending downwards. And for me personally, there are no signs of this to recover anytime soon. What should have I done better in both of these positions? First of all, I think taking a loss is not a bad thing, and right now, actually, in the state of mind that I am in the past year or so, I'm like, one of the most important things that I've learned is that I need to cut my losers short very, very soon. So if we're down like 30-40%, just take the loss. And if there's no signs of recovery, and if you don't believe that this project will recover and it's a great project, if it's just a technical setup, just cut it and move on. More often than not, I'm not sure about the percentages, but very, very often these things never recover. And even when they recover, if you don't take the profit, probably it won't give you a second or third chance to sell out of these positions. I'm sure many people are in such kind of positions and you have backs that you're holding. And one of the main questions is, okay, what the hell do you do with these things? And the very simple answer is you have two options. Either just take it as market tuition, learn your lessons, like what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to show you in this video, and they say, okay, I'm not gonna do these kind of mistakes in the future and invest the capital in another place, because potentially I've done this in the past. Actually, this is not the first mistake that I'm doing with the same pattern. You know, I did this in 2017 also, and once I've done this, once I've sold out of the position, I invested, I think it was in Solana, and I made my money back tenfold or whatever. You know, it was a great trade for me, and also it kind of gave me the freedom of my mind not to think about this position and how painful it was for me at the time to hold it. So don't think just about the monetary loss here, but also this drags your mentality back, and it's really not a pleasant experience. I'm pretty sure you know the feeling. So this is the first option that you can do. And the second option, obviously, is to hold this and just hope for it to recover at some point, or maybe, you know, if there's another setup that's forming, if the project is a really solid one and you believe, and maybe, you know, like for example, 1 inch here is forming this accumulation range. So potentially if you see a breakout pattern somewhere around here, you know, and you decide to take it and maybe double down on the position and increase your size, so that if you go up, you know, you actually be in profit at the end of the day. This is also a possibility, but again, you need to have the reasons to do this. There needs to be at least a technical setup or, you know, fundamental reasons for you to keep holding this coin. If it's some kind of shit coin that you don't believe in, I think it's much better to go with option 1, but that's just my personal preference. You have to go through the decision-making process, and I really hope this video kind of helped you to understand that nobody is insured against such kind of mistakes. And if you're in such kind of situation, don't worry, don't blame yourself. You know, it's very normal to happen. The most important part is obviously to learn your lessons and in the future to protect yourself from such kind of mistakes. This was a very, very long video. I hope it was useful because for me, going through those trades and through those mistakes was also very useful, and also kind of, you know, hard to remember everything. But yeah, that's everything for this video, guys. And you know how to find me if you have any questions.